So one of the things I'm starting to pick up is that I may be some sort of like idiot savant where I know nothing, but I understand some shit pretty clearly. So if you're watching my content, you know I'm in school at Purdue to get a degree in analytics, and I'm taking the programming portion of the course right now. And when you're in analytics and you study data analytics, you also study like forensics, you study um, data governance, is what it's called. It's like the data management, is what it's called. And your job ethically is to manage said data, right? So the Russian interference in our election obviously um, is an attack on our data governance and management, right? But one of the things that I've kind of like pieced together, so everybody wants to talk about like Russia, but Russian hackers are going to attack your database in a specific manner, as are, and then I could say the same thing for the Chinese, the Saudis, the Iran, I'm trying to think about who else, North Korea. All their hackers, they attack in different ways. So one of the things that they've done is they've got a multi-pronged attack. Okay? So obviously they're returning a lot of ballots for stupid issues, and they've fucked up computer systems where you go to log on to see if you were registered to vote and if you voted, and if it should say received and approved, because that was the part of that two-prong attack on the defense end. Is you mark it down when you receive it, and then you mark it down when you've read it, when you've looked through it and marked down, tabulated all the data, right? So I can see influence from multiple countries and the sorts of data that I'm seeing and going like, well, that doesn't make much sense. For example, it is infinitely impossible that Donald Trump and the GOP lost down ballot races in 7 swing states, but carried the general election vote tally in all 7 states. So for him to win all 7 swing states and the general election, the probability of that is nil, especially given that Democrats won down ballot in all 7 states. And for the record, I know that people don't want to hear this, but outside of the general election and the swing state vote, and the electoral college, which is how the GOP is using like old voting style, like theory, to try to win this election, like just dominate the 7 swing states, right? But here's the problem. It's pretty clear to me that there's a big number of missing votes. And so a lot of people are talking about 15 million votes, okay? I actually think there's pockets of millions of votes, and there might be 2 big ones. I'm thinking 20 and 15, so 35 million. I know it sounds crazy, but that would put you just ahead of where the 2020 election was. And you've also got ballots that were changed, that were edited, right? That one of the pieces of data that came out were in areas that Donald Trump carried general election vote only ballots carried statistically in those areas. And it's so statistically improbable. Think about waiting in line over an hour to vote and getting to the voting booth and voting for Donald Trump and then being like, fuck it, I'm not voting for anything else. Print, I'm done. I did my duty. Nope. People don't do that. I've voted in every election in the last 20 years. people are asking questions. It's like being in a public space, deciding on our future together. Not everyone knows the answer to every question. So when I think about what's going to happen here moving forward, it's pretty clear to me that Elon Musk has committed treason here. And Elon Musk used Starlink to monitor elections. You know, the GOP had access to the Georgia election software, and you got to remember Dominion. You gotta kind of keep that at top of mind that Dominion sued the GOP and won like a $500 million settlement. And there are two companies that make like 70% of the software for our voting. So there's only two companies. Fortunately, me and my wife, we looked it up. We use ePollBook here in Indy, and our ballots appear to have been received and approved. Right? Can't look at them. Can't tell you those choices I made and see if those have been switched. And I'll always wonder, if they don't investigate this election, did they also change my vote? So I know that scares people because they're like, oh, fuck, Jared. And it's like, bro, you can fix shit like this. It's 2024. Okay. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Vladimir Putin, they have spilled the beans. They've made it very obvious that they cheated. And I think they cheated to the tune of like 20 plus million, 30 million plus votes. Like, shit is insane. Think about this. They're talking about now falling short of their expectation for voter turnout, but they ran out of ballots at a lot of places. Record voter turnout, record early voting, record mail-in voting. They are still, as of this morning, counting votes. Something is afoot. I can smell it. It smells like a whole bunch of votes. It smells like Starlink. It smells like Elon Musk had an app that told him the results of an election 4 hours early. And being so confident to say, your body, my choice. That takes some audacity. You have to have some information that, you know what I mean? You have to be real confident to say shit like that. Especially when you live in Berwyn, Illinois.